Hello, welcome to this edition of Momentum. I'm Robert Green, your host, and I'm happy today to have in the studio with me Ms. Sara Fuller. Sara is a senior research engineer at our Center for Advanced Vehicular Systems, which is a research unit here at Mississippi State University. Sara, welcome.
Thank you.
We got to start.
Okay.
Explain what the Center for Advanced Vehicular Systems is and what does it do?
Sure, absolutely. So the Center for Advanced Vehicular Systems, vehicles, we do a lot with vehicles. We came to the state, I guess about 20 years ago when Nissan came to the state. We were stood up to help support that industry. Nissan, their suppliers with research and technology development activities. Currently, we have 5 different research thrusts. We do materials research. We're supported by our High Performance Computing Center. So we do a lot of modeling and simulation of materials, of vehicles. We do wearables, so Fitbits, sensors in garments to track human performance metrics, and then obviously the vehicle side. So all across the board.
Yeah, so what is your role there?
Sure.
What do you head up?
I am the Associate Director for Corporate Engagement and Strategic Programs. So we do a lot of work for the Department of Defense and the Army, primarily the Engineer Research Development Center down in Vicksburg. So I manage a lot of those programs, oversee making sure we're delivering what our customers are looking for. Also corporate engagement, so I'm working with outside industry to develop research initiatives, solve problems, all across the board.
Okay. And I understand that for COVID-19, we had some innovative engineers out at CAVS that actually were able to convert toolboxes with ultraviolet lights to help out the medical profession.
Yes, so you could not get masks, you couldn't get sanitized equipment, so they took a toolbox, the kind that go in the back of your truck, and we're able to develop a sanitation kit. And I think the plans are still on the website. If anybody needs to download those, they're there.
We may need it again.
Let's hope not.
I know in addition to the operation we have here on the campus, we also have a CAVS extension down in Canton.
Yes.
What is their role? How does it differ from what we do here on campus?
Sure, so that organization is actually our outreach organization. Here on campus, we're doing the research, we're working with academic faculty, we're working with students. The CAVS Extension Office is out in industry. They're working with small and medium manufacturers all across the state, all across a variety of industries, solving their problems, understanding what their needs are, how can we support their needs. They do professional development training, things, many tabs, statistical process control, welding, financial fundamentals. There's a big push in Industry 4.0, which is going to be all the digital age, connected and autonomous systems, robots, all of that creates a lot of data. So that's kind of the Industry 4.0 initiative. So they teach a lot of professional development classes to the suppliers for Nissan, to the automotive industry, to healthcare industry. So they also teach Lean and Six Sigma classes, so process improvement. How do we make things more efficiently? How do we capture the data from that to know that we're improving?
I also know they've had a tremendous impact on the economy of the state, both in retaining and attracting a new industry.
Absolutely. So they're about, I think the number is between about $6.5 billion since their inception that they have been able to retain for the state of Mississippi, which is huge.
Yeah. Well, I know your background, your education is in industrial and systems engineering.
Yes.
What made you get interested in that? What attracted you to that discipline?
Sure. I am a process person. I'm efficiencies, how do we do it better? I don't think I realized it much when I was starting college and graduating high school and trying to figure out what I wanted to do. But I started in chemical engineering, decided I did not want to be in the lab that much. Industrial engineering is very people-focused. Humans are always involved with it. That spoke to me a lot more than any of the other engineering disciplines. So how do I improve processes? How do I find efficiencies? And I've learned that that's something that every industry has. Just about every organization can benefit from an industrial engineer. So it's great job security also.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned starting college. I know you did not start college at Mississippi State.
No.
So why don't you tell us, how did you end up here?
I actually started at LSU. I'm from Louisiana. It was a kind of a safe choice. But about 2 years in, I was majoring in industrial engineering. It was a huge department. Was kind of ready for a change. I discovered the National Student Exchange Program, where you can go to other universities for your home university cost or tuition. So I came to Mississippi State for a semester. A lot of my family has been from Mississippi. My great uncle thought Mississippi State engineers were the best thing ever. So I thought, well, we'll try it out. The industrial engineering department was phenomenal. Everybody was very helpful. Everybody wanted to get to know you. Everybody wanted to see how they could help you become the best student possible. So I ended up sticking around, transferred officially to Mississippi State, and graduated here in industrial engineering.
So I know another thing you did while you were a student here is you were not one of our first, but one of our early congressional interns,
Yes.
and you went to Washington, D.C.
Sure.
and worked in the office of Senator Thad Cochran. How did that help you? What impact did that have on your career?
Oh, it was great. Politics was not really my forte. And after living in DC for a long time, I still fumble through it somewhat, but it was a great experience. And that was something that I think really shaped the rest of my career in terms of taking the chances on things that you don't know anything about. It may be great, it may be a disaster, but you never know. And jump into things, go do it. It was right around the time of, I'm going to date myself here, Katrina was around that same time. So travel, I was supposed to fly to DC for my internship. Couldn't do it, couldn't fly, couldn't travel. So it was a little bit of a challenge. It was different, but I had a great time. I met a lot of really great people. The networking and learning how to manage that network, embrace that network, and use that network has been something that's really been important throughout my career.
Was there any particular experience while you were there that is memorable, or was it just the entire experience?
The entire experience was great. I started in the mail room sorting mail. It was a great way to get to learn who all the people were in the office. A lot of celebrities come through. I think we got to meet Angelina Jolie, which was pretty cool. We did a lot of tours of the Capitol, so I have a lot of the random facts about that. The whole thing was just great. I'm probably guessing you're also referencing meeting a husband in DC. So yes, we met in DC. He was from Mississippi as well, but it was a very memorable experience.
Yeah. So after graduation, you went to work actually for a consulting company, I believe that was founded by one of your fellow graduates. What was that experience like? What
was
kind of
great.
work did you do there?
Yes, it followed along with the let's just jump in and see what happens. I knew I wanted to do consulting. I was not big into manufacturing, which a lot of industrial engineering is centered around manufacturing. I didn't think I wanted to do that. So I did the consulting. I worked for the Navy, did process improvement for their ship construction programs. Got to do a lot of really neat experiences. Going out on sea trials as the ship is being delivered and finished was great. So it was a lot of fun. It was a small company. It was one of those companies where everybody does everything, and that, I think, was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
So I'm willing to bet most industrial systems engineering majors have no idea what a sea trial is.
This is probably true.
As a retired naval officer, I do.
You appreciate that. Yes.
Tell us a little bit, what were sea trials like?
It's wild. So this is the point when, at the time it was Northrop Grumman, and they've switched to Huntington Ingalls, where they were building the ship, they had completed, they were getting ready to turn the keys over to the Navy. So it was kind of the last test drive, so that they could show everything works, everything functions, here you go. People don't sleep on ships. It's kind of a 24/7 thing, which was challenging. And when they do sleep, it's in a very miniature bunk bed with 3 or 4 people. But it was cool. It was a lot of fun. It was different. It's not something you get to do all the time. I had a mentor and a boss from the Navy, and his notion was, how are you going to help me improve a process if you have not experienced the process?
Right.
If you don't know it, if you don't know all the problems, if you don't know the ins and outs, how are you really going to help me improve that? So he was the one that said, go, you need to go do this and this and this, and sent us all over the country to different shipyards learning so that we could improve the process.
So it sounds like you had an enjoyable job and you liked the work you were doing. So I've got to ask, what prompted your return to come back to Mississippi State?
Washington, D.C. is expensive. It's very expensive. We had a child by that point, and we're missing family. Just wanted to get back. So we came back. Our daughter was 15 months old at that time. Just came back, a little bit slower pace, kind of take some time.
So as you know, one of the problems we face not only here at Mississippi State, but in the entire engineering profession is attracting more women to the profession. And you've obviously been very successful in it. What advice do you have for girls maybe watching this, or parents of girls watching today, to encourage them to pursue engineering?
Yeah, absolutely. I was looking at some statistics recently, and I think across the board, internationally, the statistic of women in engineering and STEM is like between 15 and 16%, which is incredibly low. My advice would be not just for women. I mean, it's hard, it's a challenge. It's a very challenging environment. It's demanding, but I think the advice goes for women and men across the board. Work hard, figure out what you want to do, figure out the impact you want to have, and how do you make that impact. Talk to people in the field, talk to college. The admission counselors can give you a lot of information. Go visit the university departments. The department heads often are more than willing to talk to people about coming to the university, coming to engineering. Just research it, figure out which one you really want to get into, and be prepared to work hard. It is a challenge, but it's a lot of fun. It's worth it.
And certainly you've indicated you can be very successful
Yes,
doing
absolutely.
that. So we've got about a minute left, Sarah. Okay. What advice would you give to someone who's about to graduate in engineering and enter the workforce? What can they do to help ensure their success?
So you're graduating, you feel like you kind of know everything, and when in the grand scheme of things, you may know a lot of the academic side, but be open-minded, be prepared to learn from the people you're working with. Realize that they've been there, they're there to help you, they're going to help you. Work really hard, knuckle down and do the job. Manage the expectations, communicate effectively. Just work hard.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us today. I want to thank you all for joining us. I look forward to seeing you the next time here on Momentum.